Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Jammed Up Show. I'm your host, Cooper Knuckles, and today I wanted to dive into company driver life versus independent driver life. What brought this video to my attention was Blake Granger is going on this off-the-leash independent run to where now he's on the life of the independents. Hats off to him. Good luck, my friend. But I don't actually think he understands independent life. Not saying I'm 100% aware of the whole independence life. I just know the difference between being a goody two-shoe Monster Jam driver compared to a hard-working independent driver and crew guy. For company fleet drivers, the setup is usually way more supported. They have parts, crew, labor, logistics, team resources, and backup help. Their main job is to show up and perform. And then when you're done performing and messing up the truck, you can leave. You can go have pizza because the crew guys are going to stay behind and fix it up for you guys until you show back up at 8 in the morning to do it all over again. For independent drivers, it is survival mode. They have to keep their truck alive, travel between shows, fix problems themselves, manage money, and still perform well enough to get booked again. An independent is wholly reliable on themselves. When a part breaks, it's up to them to get it together. Now, I do believe from some shows that I've seen when like an independent blows a motor, I think they can either rent a motor. I don't exactly remember the correct term of it all, but they can like rent a motor. All right, you got that help. But when it comes to like when the truck breaks, there's not other crew guys that are going to come help. Yes, there's some fleet managers who will actually tell the third guy in the trailer, hey, go give them help. As long as there's no company trucks needing worked on, if there's open hands, depending on the crew guy, they will go and actually help, which is awesome. But all in all, it's all on the independent guy to get back out there. And that's the thing. It's their parts, their money. And a lot of times, say, if the truck broke, they're not even going to attempt to fix it. They thrash on it, throw all the parts on it, and then just to make it out for freestyle to break it again, that's just more money that I don't think was worth it. But it depends on the independent themselves. Because you got some independents who actually, like, they have enough to where they can go get a hotel and stay. There's other independents where we had to go pick them up at the track out of their semi because that's where they sleep. They sleep with the truck. They're there the whole weekend. And I'm not going to lie, I don't think Blake is 100% ready for that life. Blake, in my eyes, is just riding off the fame. He is just basing it off of the reaction he got in Instagram and TikTok comments. He thinks he's high and mighty, which, by the way, Blake, fan of the show, he's riding high on these Instagram comments. All right, there's a lot of people out there, which I'm not gonna dog on you guys for supporting Blake. It's really cool. It's good that you guys can show your love to a person in need. But when this man came out of nowhere with the AI t-shirts to make money off of this whole road, it's like, I don't think most of the people understand how much stuff was snowballing to where it led to him getting fired. All right. That's just the problem with inside information and just watching it from a second story window when it's outside in the backyard. When I heard that Blake was now going to be stepping into this whole independent lifestyle, pretty much this is now his routine. Unlike when he worked for Monster Jam, he showed up, drove the truck, and left. Now he set himself up to load and unload the truck, drive overnight to the next venue, work on the truck in parking lots, fix the damage with limited time and limited help, pay attention to part costs, make sure the truck is good enough to make the show, and still interact with fans and put on a performance. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible. Until we see it, we won't really know. I'm just saying, I don't see it. I don't know who hired him. That's the thing, too, because he never said who he's working for or whatnot. I never heard of him. nor do I know what independent. It all depends on the independent too, because yeah, some of them, if I'm being honest, this is a hobby. I'm not saying all Monster Jam drivers are lazy and they don't help at all. Some do. Some actually throw in the 2 cents, or they'll actually help put together some corners. But a lot of times when it comes to the Monster Jam driver, they'll get done tearing up the trucks, and then when you're halfway done tiring down to get out of there so you can get to the hotel so you can start drinking, some of them will come up and be like, hey, can you record me pushing this tire in there so I can show, like, yeah, look at me. Get out of my way. Get it. Get out of here. We don't need this shit. I'm trying to get out of here. And then it's like when they're done doing that, they'll just be like, all right, thanks, and then leave. And then you're still got to, like, do you want to drive the truck in while you're here? Do you want to push this other one in while you're right here? No, they won't. They won't do that. But when an independent, it's there. Blake Granger also is the type of driver who's going to show up and he's going to break it. He's going to break the truck, and all it's going to do is cost the independent money. Now, with the company, just throw money at it and you're good to go because they have endless amounts of parts. I mean, at a show, a company truck has a whole trailer worth of parts that they can throw on. An independent, not that much. So when you take Blake's driving style, now you throw it into a person who has to literally pay for everything for how he drives. I wonder if they're going to put a leash on him. No pun intended to, it's off the leash. They got to put a leash on this man. They got to put a leash on him, or shit's going to get expensive. It's all in all very interesting, and I'm very curious on how that's going to go. And I have asked some people, like their experience working for the company and an independent. With the company, you're making some good overtime. You're going solid. It's all that. Well, with an independent, you're on a base salary, no overtime. All in all, an independent's life this is a hobby that we love. We love doing this. We're not going out there to win. I mean, granted, say they win some racing and all that, they get a little money boost and whatnot, but it's all for the love of the sport. They genuinely love this thing. And when you get a company driver, not saying they don't love it, I'm just saying an independent, you got to have heart. This is your life now. This is it. You're in it. You can't go one pant leg in and one pant leg out and go out to dinner and be expecting everybody to just understand what you're doing here. It is, you're all in. This is it. You're throwing everything in there. This is your life now. You have to do it. You can't half-ass it. And I'm very curious on how Blake Granger is going to go about this. It's very interesting. Just another hats off to the independent, because there's going to be moments where the independent team might have to leave the venue, limp the truck somewhere else, unload it into a parking lot, working on it overnight, and then hope it runs the next day. That's the stuff fans need to hear. It just, you never know, because they, like, say we were in Oklahoma, we had to be out of there that night. Like, or it was Houston. It was, hey, you have to be out of here by a certain time. And say an independent, they have to get their truck going, or they have to load it up, get it off the property, go to somewhere else and do it, or haul ass to the next venue so they have an extra day to work on it in the parking lot when nobody else is there yet. That's the thing. Like, after the show, you get it all tired up. If there's time, you can go to the stadium and they might let you use their showers, and then you're on the road, or you go to the next truck stop and you shower that night, and one person has to deal with driving. I think the Pagliarulos, greatest example for it. Also, I would love nothing more to interview them. I'd have them on the show, friends of the show. I would love to have them on the show and talk to them, because I respect the heck out of the Pagliarulos. I love them. Great drive. They haul ass. They burn it down, and it's awesome to see an independent. Zach Gardner, he also burns it down. The Gardners, he's only 2 hours away. Hey, it was really, and I'm not going to lie, it was really awesome seeing Zach win the World Finals in racing out of all the things. The fact that an independent won the World Finals racing is always an awesome thing to see. I'm not going to lie. So yeah. So what it all comes down to is, would most company drivers survive as independents? This is a very spicy take here, all right? It's a very hot topic. I don't say this at all either to disrespect company drivers, because there are some absolute wheelmen out there. But I do think a lot of fans underestimate how different it is when you don't just drive the truck and you have to keep the truck alive. It's the knowledge of when you're behind the wheel, you go from having a big company with a big ass wallet protecting you for the sake of making it to the next show. It's you now have to put on a decent freestyle, but be able to drive it away without costing any damage, so you can afford to keep going into the season. Say an independent, if you just go in there, balls through the walls, break everything, halfway through the tour, if you keep going in that attitude, you're not going to survive financially. You're barely going to make it. There's probably some drivers out there who just put the truck together long enough to make it out to one race, and then the truck would break down. They still get their payment. And that, that's how they survive for the whole season. To add on to that, an independent, a bad weekend is not just a bad score. It's a financial crash that happened. It's the bad weekend is your motor blew and a housing got ripped out from underneath of it. That's an awful weekend for an independent. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see where Blake goes and how his journey goes on the independent trucks. We're probably definitely going to come back and talk about this when it happens. So if you're excited, hit that like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss another upload. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.